As we come into that realization that God is present here and now, as God is present in everywhere and every now. Father, Mother God, we give thanks for this opportunity to be aware of your presence in our lives in each and every moment of the day. We hold in this awareness life, love. We hold in this awareness the opportunity to transform who we are in this moment. We breathe into the awareness of your presence. We breathe into the awareness of our opportunity to grow, to be who we really are. And as we consider others that are in our experience that seem to have a need for the awareness of their own ability to lift and transform, we hold them in consciousness. We see your loving embrace. We see your love emerging from them into their moment, into their realization, transforming them in that awareness. And for this opportunity to be ministers of your word, we give thanks. And so it is that together we say amen. So, which mask are you wearing this morning? Don't all answer at once. We often wear a mask. In fact, it can be something that we do all the time. Troy and I, we have this thing that we like to go out on a bike ride. I have a mountain bike with a third wheel on it, with pedals, thank God, because I'm not just hauling them around. He's actually providing some of the energy. And when the weather is nice, we just might head down to the mall. We live on the south end of Boulder, just up by Fairview High School. And so going down to the mall is mostly downhill. There are a few uphills between our place and the mall, but mostly downhill. But it's a fun ride. And we always have the destination, When we go to Pearl Street, we always have the destination of Ben and Jerry's. Now, it turns out that's not for Troy's benefit, that's for mine. I like their chunky monkey, okay? So we go in, we park the bike, we go in, we get our cones, and we go out on the mall, and we typically mosey down the mall a little bit, but yesterday there was the sound of drumming coming up from the mall. So we moseyed on down to where the drummer was, and we sat down next to him, and boy, that's kind of hard to see here. Anyway, this drummer has a mask, and it's got these leather fringes on the back, and he'll be drumming and he'll be flinging this mask around, and these things go back and forth, and so we were sitting down next to him, and Troy decided that he wanted to do some drumming, so he went around the other side, and the fellow invited him up to a drum, and so he was doing some drumming a while. But as I was sitting next to this guy and hearing him, he was expressing such a love for the kids that were going up and down. He kept inviting the kids in to drum with him. And so I came to really appreciate this fellow's attitude and the joy that he was expressing in his working with the kids there. And it brought to mind that, we have masks. We wear masks. Oftentimes we wear masks unintentionally. That is, our masks are typically a reflection of our emotional state at the time, right? We have a sad mask. We have a happy mask. We have a dejected mask. We have an angry mask. We have a curious mask. So there's lots of masks that we wear that are typically a reflection of our emotional state at the time. Now, some people will put on a mask intentionally. The shaman puts on a mask intentionally, right? The shaman's mask is intended to bring the community with whom he is working into a state of reverie or a state of mystery or a state of awe about whatever the ritual is that he's conducting. Well, that's not lost on the religious tradition in the West either, right? The priest puts on vestments, and that's a mask, right? And we all have this opportunity to intentionally put on masks. We put on a confident mask when we want to express to those around us that, I've got this. I've got this. Don't worry. And we also can put on the frightened mask. The frightened mask is, right? Notice what happens when you encounter someone that has a frightened mask on. You start looking around, right? What are you scared of? A frightened mask is a very useful thing. It kept the saber-toothed tigers from having more than one person for a meal, right? It keeps us as a community communicating with each other in a way that is at a visceral level. It's something that is instantaneous. We see someone that has a sad mask, and we might start to empathize with them. In fact, I was sitting on the bench, and Troy was next to me, and there was a fellow that came by that was obviously down on his luck. And so I made contact, I looked at him, and he looked at me, and I smiled, and he just kind of broke a little bit of a smile, not a big smile, but just a little bit of a smile. And I turned to Troy and I said, we have the opportunity to help other people lift up out of their present condition by just offering a smile. And I talked to him about how you do that and how you pay attention to that and how you intentionally break through your barrier, your defenses, so that you can connect with someone else and you can help lift them, if but sharing a smile. So he pondered that a little bit as he was eating his waffle cone, and it's a lesson that we can all learn, and that is that we can intentionally offer a mask, the smile, right? We can offer a mask that will help others. We don't have to be just only wearing masks that are a reflection of our emotions, but we can break through and we can offer a mask that will help someone else, lift them, bring them along, bring them out of their current state of mind into a different state of mind. Well, this process of offering a mask has its downsides, and the downsides are that we often believe our masks. We put on a sad mask, and we feel the sad mask, and we revel in the sadness that we feel, and we increase the sadness of our mask. And so we lead ourselves down into some kind of purgatory or some kind of dejection that is only because we have believed our mask. I mean, look at what happened in the priesthood when the priests start to believe that they are the only connection to God, right? And that causes all kinds of problems. It causes problems not just in the relationships, but it causes problems in their own consciousness. And it is in our own consciousness that we have the greatest danger in believing our masks. So the process is one of being aware of what mask you're wearing right now. You know, am I wearing a curious mask, or am I wearing an angry mask, or am I wearing a dejected or sad mask? And knowing that you can change that mask, just like the drummer can take off the mask, put it in a bag, pack up his drums, and leave. And he might leave with, I don't know, $400. He had quite a haul there in his little pot that was in front of him. In fact, I had a 20 on me, and I wanted to give him $1, and I said, so would you trade me $19 for a 20? And he said, sure. He says, go ahead, take it out of there. I said, no, I want you to take it out of there. I don't want to handle your money. So he got out from behind his drums. He fumbled through, and he pulled out the $19, and he took the 20, and he stuffed it down in there. I said, oh, don't do that. Take that 20 and put a corner of it up out of the pile of cash so that people will know that they could put a 20 in there if they wanted to. So he did that. He thought that was a good idea. I didn't know that I was a natural-born busker, but I guess I am in ministry, aren't I? So the process that we have is that we can wear a different mask. We can intentionally put on a different mask. And it's not that a mask is a bad thing. A mask is just that. It's a mask. As long as we recognize that the mask that we're wearing is not who we are. And that's the key here. The mask that we are wearing is not who we are. So we can put on this mask or that mask or that mask as the situation calls for it, because the mask is and can be a way of stimulating others. Like I put on a smile when I'm looking at a person who is dejected, that mask is an intentional mask of a smile. It's not just a mouth smile, but it's a full-face smile, right? It's just, wow, hi. So it is the advantage of the mask when we know that we're wearing a mask is that we can change the mask. And Jesus offered us this wisdom many years ago. He says, you are the light of the world. A city built on a hill cannot be hidden. No one, after lighting a lamp, puts it under the bushel basket, but on the lampstand, and it gives light to all in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father in heaven. Well, it's not about advertising your good works, but rather it is about expressing who you really are, so that the person who you are expressing with can realize who they are. Right? It's about putting this air of who you really are on display, so that the person who is with you can say, oh, wow, how do you do that? What is it about you that makes you shine like that? And then it just might be a realization that, wait a minute, I've seen you sad, I've seen you happy, I've seen you dejected, I've seen you curious, I've seen you angry. I'm all those things. Maybe I can be that. Maybe I can be what you are. Oh, Jesus is saying, you are the light of the world. That's the reality of who you are. And it turns out that this is also echoed in another gospel that was probably written about 20 years prior, the Gospel of Thomas. And Jesus said, no one lights a lamp to set it under a bushel or to put it in a hidden place, but he sets it on the lampstand that all who go in and come out may see its light. That is who you are. You are the light of the world. You can wear all of these masks and you can hide that you are the light of the world. But remember that you are the light of the world. You're not the mask that you wear. You are the light of the world. So at any time you can take off the mask you're wearing, put on the reality of who you are, and let that shine forth. You are the light of the world. And when you realize that this sadness that I'm feeling, this anger that I'm feeling, this whatever that I'm feeling right now, and is being reflected in the mask that I'm wearing, I have a choice. And that choice is to let my light shine. You know, in Unity we have several principles upon which our experience is based. First and foremost, the premise is that there is one God. Good omnipotence. And the one Son of God is resident in each and every one of us. And then the thoughts that we hold in mind, and this is the point here, the thoughts we hold in mind manifest in our experience. That is, we can choose the thoughts we hold in mind, right? And then the tools of transformation. If we find ourselves wearing a sad mask and we don't know how to take it off to allow that light to shine, we can use the tools of prayer and meditation, denials and affirmations. And I'm going to point to you the denial. The denial is, I am not the emotion that I am feeling right now. I am not the emotion that I'm feeling right now. So that's the denial. We only have to use that once, just to take the power away from this thing that we think we are. And the affirmation is, I am the light of the world. So I am not the emotion that I'm feeling right now, and follow it up with, I am the light of the world. 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 Neurolinguistic programming tells us that while we think that our emotions will determine our countenance, they have in their studies proved that our countenance will affect our emotions. So that when we start to smile, we are starting to feel that smiling energy. Affirmation is just like that. I am the light of the world. 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 Notice that the affirmation must be repeated. Now, oftentimes the practice is to repeat the affirmation 200 times. 200 times. How long do you think it takes you to repeat an affirmation like I am the light of the world 200 times? About 5 minutes and 30 seconds. Now, consider how you have a day's worth of activity in front of you. And you spend 5 minutes and 30 seconds declaring that I am the light of the world. Can you imagine how your day is transformed? Well, it turns out you don't have to imagine, because you can do it. You can practice this. I am the light of the world. 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 Notice that as I am affirming, I am getting my emotion into it. Turns out that emotion is a very significant force that impresses upon the subconscious this change of attitude, this change of awareness. I am the light of the world. So as you offer your single denial, and then as you offer your 200 affirmations, get into it. Speak them aloud. Don't worry about your neighbor. You know, the neighbor is going to just catch up with you in time and realize that they are the light of the world. But use this affirmation, I am the light of the world, 200 times in the morning, 200 times in the evening, for 7 days straight, 200 times in the morning, 200 times in the evening, and notice how your life changes. Thoughts held in mind manifest in my experience, and what you will experience is that your days will be transformed. You will be seeing far more happy people. You will be seeing the presence of God in so many things. You will see so many coincidences, wonderful miracles arising in your life. Why? Because you have changed your mind. You have changed your mind, and that's the power that you have. And it is truly a divine power, because in that change of mind, you are creating your new world. It is your choice. You have the power, use it. I am the light of the world. Put on that countenance of the divine, because that is who you are. We'll have our meditation. As we breathe into this moment, as we allow ourselves to relax into the awareness that we are perfectly safe. We let go of any fears that we might have, any anxieties that we might have. We let go of any worries that we brought into this moment. We, in this moment, are perfectly safe. And as we rest in this empty space, this free, loving space, we breathe in and we breathe out. We lay down the masks that we are wearing. Perhaps it's a mask of defensiveness. Perhaps it's a mask of concern. Perhaps it's a mask of happiness. We just pay attention and we lay down the mask. We turn within. We feel the source of our being emanating God light. And we affirm, I am the light of the world. Repeat that after me. I am the light of the world. 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 Feel how that has changed your consciousness right now. I am the light of the world. It doesn't have to be a big swing. It doesn't have to be fireworks and flashing lights going off. But just an incremental change changes your experience. You are empowered. You have always been empowered. You are empowered right now to make the change, to be the expression of God light here, now. in this next moment, in this next hour, the next day, the next week, the next month, the next year. You can, from this point forward, be the expression of God in every moment. Because you are the light of the world. And in this awareness, we come back into this time and space, sharing the words of Alleluia.